Kyle's back, and he's making the universal.
Maybe.
Hey, there he is.
Here we go. Thank you.
Kyle Madson, 95.7 The Game.
My guys.
How you feeling, buddy?
A lot better now.
Yeah?
I'm much better now. Yeah.
I like the setup. Setup looks nice.
Mic looks real. The setup.
Thank you.
And all that looks really nice.
It's going to look different again because this is a disaster here. So there's going to be shelves here. This is great for the people listening on
really
1320.
It's great.
There's going to be shelves above the cabinet that I'm pointing at, and all of this stuff that's currently sitting on top of those cabinets is going to go onto those shelves.
If you just want to say next time, just say F you if you're listening on 1320 AM or the Odyssey app, because this is strictly for YouTube and Twitch right here.
Yeah, that was exclusive content. And if you're not watching on YouTube and Twitch, you should be.
Well, I mean, you could be driving.
We welcome no matter where you are. We welcome you in here.
Yeah, but like a little less if you're listening terrestrially.
You are a frustrating person to be friends with, man. I swear. You can be so difficult sometimes. How you feeling about this game this weekend? It feels like everybody's got a bit of a different vibe for it. How are you feeling about this 49ers Cowboys matchup?
I'm excited just as a football fan because the 49ers Cowboys rivalry kind of predates my football fandom. I was 4 years old the last time they played in the playoff game. I don't remember. I don't remember that. I don't remember obviously anything prior to that. What if I was like, I don't remember 94, but 92, I was dialed in. No, I've heard about this. Like my mom is a huge reason I'm a Niner fan, hates the Cowboys and like instilled that in me, but I don't have like a reason for it. Like, it's just kind of like, oh, that's a thing that happened in history. And now that's happening again with both teams being really good. So I'm excited just from that standpoint. And then I think if you watch the 49ers and the way they went about beating the Rams last week, I think you have to feel pretty good about their chances to do something similar to Dallas.
I've said all week, I like the Dallas Cowboys. I think it's a good team. They got weapons. The more I look at them, it feels like it might be a little feast or famine. Like they're either going to explode or they're not going to be able to do anything. It doesn't feel like there's any in between. But maybe call me biased or whatever, being too close to the situation. I don't know. But I just feel like this is a bad matchup for the Cowboys, i.e. a really good matchup for the 49ers. Styles make fights. And this style, I feel like just kind of favors the 49ers right now.
Yeah, you could definitely make that case. I think that Dallas has a couple players on both sides of the ball, though, that could really blow that up. Like if Micah Parsons, their rookie linebacker, just has a huge game and blows up everything they try and do getting to the edge in the run game, that's a significant problem. And I think if you're Dan Quinn in that defense, you're looking at what the Seahawks did to San Francisco. And San Francisco's offense against Seattle wasn't horrible, but their run game wasn't very good. They relied on explosive passing plays, and they also got a couple interceptions. So if you're Dallas, you're going, hey, if we're going to make Jimmy Garoppolo beat us, like, you'll take that. And then Trevon Diggs, of course, is a cornerback with really good ball skills. I don't know how good he is at football, but he has great ball skills. So
he's a playmaker.
Yeah, exactly. He's a playmaker. So they have the pieces to make this an issue. And then on the other side, Dak Prescott's really good. He might be the second or third best quarterback in the NFC right now. CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. The Niners do a really good job of not giving up big passing plays, but Dallas has so many weapons. You could see them generating a couple big plays in the passing game, and that could swing what I think is going to be a close game.
KC has been feverishly defending the 49ers secondary this week leading into this game.
You've been doing it for months, to be honest with you, Damian.
No, you have. It's just kicked into overdrive here this week. And I'm with you in the sense that I don't think that secondary has been nearly as bad as we thought it would be. But Kyle, I posed this question. It feels like sometimes, and we see this with Josh Norman, normally that secondary is like picked at. Like it's plays here, play there, play there. Okay, we've got Josh Norman frustrated. Let's go ahead and get him. They're like picked at. They're annoying. With the Dallas Cowboys, though, they have the ability to attack that secondary. And I think these two things are very different. And that's where I get concerned, as much as I think KC makes points about the secondary and how they've been probably better than they've been given credit for. I think they could be attacked this weekend by Dak Prescott and those wide receivers that you just named right there.
Yeah, the thing is, though, I thought the Bengals would be able to do that. And we didn't see the Bengals get after the Niners corners until very late in that game. And even that was Ambry Thomas's first start. I think that was his first start. So yeah, because that was after the Seahawks game when he came in. So yeah, so it was his first start, and he got cooked a couple times by Jamar Chase, but that's going to happen. But he's been a lot better lately. He's a serviceable cornerback now. And Emmanuel Mosley, before he got hurt, was playing really well, and I thought he was good again against LA. So they're not this like disaster where like Kansas City's secondary is kind of a disaster. Like Kansas City's secondary is not great. But with the Niners, because their margin of error is so thin because of, their quarterback, I think a lot of people look for problems with the 49ers and they get put under this microscope because it's like, well, if their secondary isn't perfect, it's going to be a huge problem. And I agree with KC for the most part. Like they can't move forward into next year with this as their secondary. They need to do something there to at least bolster their depth. I think that's the issue right now is depth. But if you're rolling out Ambry Thomas, K'Wan Williams, and Emmanuel Mosley, that's a group that can win you a game. There's no link there where it's like, man, that guy's going to get targeted 15 times. He's going to give up 13 catches. I don't think that's necessarily the case. But Damian, to your point, do you love an Ambry Thomas CD Lamb matchup for the Niners?
I do not.
Probably not.
I don't want CD Lamb against anybody.
Well, that's okay, and that's just the point. That's gonna so yeah. Cooper Kupp last week goes for what, 7 and a $1.08 or $1.13 or whatever, and it's like, man, he didn't torch the Niners secondary. He beat Dante Johnson on that first drive, but it was just kind of like, yeah, that's what good receivers do. Like even the best secondaries are going to lose some. So I don't, it's a problem long term, but going into the playoffs, I don't think we're going to come away from Sunday necessarily going, well, the Niners secondary was the biggest problem.
I think Damian brought it up a couple of different times this week, and I feel the same way. I feel one of the reasons the 49ers secondary and their defense kind of survives in the passing game is, like you mentioned, they don't really give up the big play, and they'll allow the dink and dunks to happen. And what really happens is it's kind of a mind game a little bit. They'll give you, and I'll talk about like the Cowboys, they'll give them the dink and dunks, knowing that they won't stay for that for long. They'll want to go up top at some point and force something, kind of like what the Rams do with Matthew Stafford. Like, you'll take the little dump down here and there, but eventually you're going to want to go up top. We'll be ready for that, and we'll shut all that down. Do you think that's the way to beat this 49ers defense, is to stay with taking the check downs time and time again, even if it's not explosive or this big momentum swing, just stay with it and keep methodically moving down the field?
Yeah, getting the ball out quickly. That's it. Like even Aaron Rodgers against the Packers in week 3, he had a couple of shots where it was like 3-step drop, got to his back foot and just threw it in the air. It wasn't necessarily a short throw. It was just get rid of the football and don't let the pass rush start affecting the game. And I think that's spot on. If it's heavy, Dalton Schultz, their tight end, and short throws to Cedric Wilson out of the slot, and some shorter stuff to Cooper, and CeeDee Lamb's a really good playmaker with the ball in his hands too. He showed that a lot at Oklahoma. I don't know how the Niners go about stopping that.
I think we'll give that up. Like if the Cowboys take it, I think they can move the ball effectively on the 49ers and score. I just don't know if they're going to always take it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of the big thing. That's been the big thing with Patrick Mahomes this year too, right? Is people are playing that cover 2 and basically saying, sure, dink and dunk your way down the field, but at some point he's going to try that shot. And can you make sure that becomes an incompletion or, even better, turn it into a turnover? I think that Dak Prescott is a smart enough quarterback that he would take those short throws is the problem. I don't know that he and Kellen Moore are going to be super eager to go over the top against a defense that's trying to take that away. Like, I think that's something that the Cowboys are very good at. So, I mean, I just, if Dallas is going to take the short stuff, I don't know what the Niners do to combat that.
I know one of the things Casey's been talking about this week is banking on Jimmy protecting the ball and not making the same mistakes that he did against Los Angeles. And while we've talked a lot about Micah Parsons and obviously Diggs as well, Cowboys have forced 2 or more turnovers in 12 games this season. That's a number that has to weigh heavy on Kyle Shanahan's mind, because we all know that and this is football 101. You protect the ball, you win the turnover battle, like you're in a good position to win that game. And what we saw on Sunday, and we haven't even got your thoughts on Sunday's game. Like what a performance from Jimmy Garoppolo, coming back from turning the ball over and being able to lead them in the fourth quarter and overtime. But those moments feel few and far between. Not necessarily the big performance at the end, but wow, he's really overcoming these mistakes, some of them which felt like game-ending mistakes.
Yeah, that's been the thing with Garoppolo is I think they're not like 2-6 or 3-6 when he throws a pick, because it's so damaging and gets them out of such a rhythm. And they rely so heavily on ball control to win games, that when you're just giving the opposing team a free possession, especially on a short field, like that's a pretty significant problem. So I think that's the number one concern in this game, is Jimmy Garoppolo giving the ball away. I think Kyle Shanahan's going to dial up a lot of like what we saw early on against Tennessee, a lot of moving the pocket, rolling out, easy throws, get Garoppolo in a rhythm. And the big thing with like Trevon Diggs, it's not like Trevon Diggs is running around in the middle of the field. If you're going to keep him outside the numbers and just not take shots at him, or not take deep shots at him, like I said, I think he can be beat. He gave up, Pro Football Focus has him down for the most yards allowed this year by any cornerback. So I think he can be had a little bit, especially by a route runner like Brandon Ayuk, especially like by a receiver like Deebo Samuel. I don't think he is a lockdown, shut down corner in the sense that we think of shutdown corners. He had 11 picks because quarterbacks try him all the time because they can get him. So that's one of the things that I think the Niners have a huge advantage with, is if the Cowboys are trying to cover George Kittle or Brandon Ayuk out of the slot with Leighton Vander Esch, who I think is somebody Kyle Shanahan, he's a linebacker for the Cowboys. I think he's somebody Kyle Shanahan's going to circle and be like, we're going to do motion until we get the matchup we want against Leighton Vander Esch, and we're going to hammer it. And I think that's how he's viewing this game. And Leighton, that's not the kind of player who's going to generate a turnover for you. So I definitely think it's a concern, but I think there are ways the Niners can operate offensively without Garoppolo putting the ball in danger.
I mentioned earlier, you got guys who are just, phenomenal ball players, like Micah Parsons, and you got Gregory, on the line as well. That defensive line for the Cowboys, they got some dogs on there. But you look at Micah Parsons, and we played his audio earlier this week, and when he answered the question, and he was on there saying, "I'm from where the bullies get bullied. I'm like
shout out to Zebo.
And I'm like Big Meech."
No, he didn't say any of this. He did not say.
I don't remember that part at all.
He did not say any of that.
But
didn't Zach Randolph say that to DeMarcus Cousins?
He did say that. He did say, "I'm from where the bullies get bullied."
Bullies get bullied. That's what he said. Yeah, bullies get bullied.
Michael Parsons did say that, but the other guys he didn't. But I say all that to say, they've heard all week about how this is a body bag game, and you don't want to get bullied, and the Niners are so physical. And there's a part of me that believes they're going to be so amped up to show how physical they are, and they won't get pushed around, and they're going to be ready to swarm everywhere, that indirectly that may play right into Kyle Shanahan's hand. Because if you're over pursuing on a sweep or something like that, you may even stop him that play. But he's going to remember that's how you're playing it. And he's going to, like I said earlier, he may run the same play 2-3 more times just to set you up for this big, now we're booting to the left. There's George Kittle going for 60 yards down the field. Do you see that as a concern for this Cowboys team, that they may get too caught up in this whole, we're going to show that we're just as tough as everybody says the 49ers are?
Yeah, I could see that for sure. And I think that that's something Shanahan's going to do. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this week we see like play action stuff with Deebo Samuel in a way that we haven't seen yet. Like, that's one of the wrinkles he threw at them on Deebo Samuel's touchdown pass. And Deebo talked about this after the game, how they saw Jalen Ramsey just crashing down on those outside runs by Samuel. And so they said, great, we can sneak a receiver in behind him and Debo's just going to throw it up to him. And that's what happened. So I think that we see a couple of Debo runs early to feel out, like you just said, how they're going to play it. But yeah, then go play action with Samuel. Do some kind of end around with him on a sweep. So, or on a like outside run. So I do think there's that potential. I also think that you could see the opposite, where Dallas is so far in their own head about being assignment sound that they start hesitating, and they start, instead of getting downhill, it's waiting half a second to make sure they need to get downhill. And by the time you do that, like, that's what Kyle Shanahan wants. He wants his offensive line to play as fast as humanly possible while simultaneously making the defense second guess what they're seeing. And I could see that going a number of ways. Like, I don't think the Cowboys are going to just be able to line up and be perfect defensively, because that's just not a thing that happens against Kyle Shanahan offenses.
49ers win if what?
They have more points than the Cowboys at the end.
I would have bet $1 million freaking dollars you would have said that. Absolutely knew.
Dude,
as I was,
I am a low-hanging fruit guy.
I
grab it every
knew
time.
It's my fault too, because my stupid ass still asked it. That's 100% my fault. You don't punish the child, you punish the parent, and that's on me.
Yeah, I think they win if, like, the easy answer is if they win the turnover battle, because that's just kind of been the case all season. And if they're winning the turnover battle against this Dallas team that had 34 takeaways during the regular season, that means the Niners probably have like 3 takeaways. But I think the ultimate thing, the ultimate thing is the Niners, more than winning the turnover battle, is they can't give the ball away. Because I think one giveaway could swing the game, especially if it's in a short area of the field. So that's the big thing. Like, Garoppolo has to take care of the football. That's and the ball carriers have to do the same. The yards are going to be there. I think that Kyle Shanahan's going to have a really good plan for this defense. It's just, are you giving away the ball, especially early? Because I don't see them coming down from 17-0 down again, or coming back from 17-0 down again.
No.
Yeah, so I think they're going to try and go ball control as much as humanly possible. And I think that if Garoppolo plays like he played in the second half last week and avoids, turning it over, I don't know what Dallas does to stop San Francisco. So, yeah, don't give the ball away is the short answer to your question.
I feel exactly how you do, and I'll kind of flip it for Dallas. Like, I think they have to turn the 49ers over to win. Like, if this is a clean game on both sides, no turnovers, I don't think they win that game. I think they're going to have to make some plays on the defensive end, turn the 49ers over a couple times, and that's like their advantage. The fact that Jimmy may cough up some. If he plays clean, if it's a clean game across the board, I don't think they beat the 49ers.
Yeah, I don't either.
Oh, okay.
If they're selling out,
49ers win 62-3.
No, because Dallas is going to score. Like, Dallas is going to put
62-10.
Thank you. That's much better. No, if the Niners aren't going to score every time down, like, there's going to be incompletions, there's going to be drops, there's going to be, run pass drives where they're going from 3rd and 11 because neither of their early run plays worked. But I think there's going to be a little bit of a feeling out process early on. And I don't expect like a crazy shootout, but I think that the points will come quickly in the second half. I just, if you're playing a version of this game where the Niners aren't turning it over, that's where it's like, man, if they're playing that well offensively, you like them getting a couple stops on defense and pulling out a win.
It's Kyle Madson, 95.7 The Game, Niners Wire, Candlestick Chronicles. 49er fans are feeling themselves.